This is Kemençe Halay from
From
Yell.
Yell. Okay.
Kemençe is an instrument, isn't it?
Yeah. If you say so. Do you want to jump a bit further ahead, Dom?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's see. I think this is. Yeah, it adds more elements. Let's.
So that's what you're trying to do.
I think there were some vocals, right? Somewhere maybe
So-
around here. Okay.
I like this. You know this, guys, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive there were some vocals. Let's skip to this one. Okay. Quite a few elements.
Nice bass line.
I think they're here.
You're about to be
Pretty
right.
sure. Come on. Can I be so wrong? Yeah.
This is so cool.
Nice.
Trying something already. Cool.
Should we just head towards the end a bit more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right position. Outro.
Cool. You wanna go first?
Up to you.
To me? Okay. Okay. I think it's nicely balanced. It's not. There's nothing that sticks out a lot. The thing I was doing before is I think the drums need a little bit more punch, especially if this is supposed to be like a like a pop or dance track. I think a little bit more punch in the low end. Just doing it the dirty way right now with the multi-band envelope shaper. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, check out here, check out the live spectrogram and see how the low end is represented when I turn on the multiband envelope shaper, how much more defined it gets. So that's without and with. And also I can make it a little bit more tight. I love this bass here. I think you could use a little bit more sidechain from the kick drum. What else? Maybe
I have a few observations, if I may.
okay. You wanna go?
Yeah, I think that that this track has that sort of house vibe. So I think it's very functional for the dance floor. I do agree with you, Dom, that it could use a little bit more push in the low
more
end.
oomph, a little bit more, so that I can, I can dance.
Yeah, exactly, because it would make it a little bit more dance floor efficient. But I found to also to be saying the things that are good about tracks, that it was a good balance of the percussions and different sections coming one after the other in order to keep the interest going. So I think that this track is well produced, and
Definitely.
I really like those vocals, because one of the thing with electronic dance music, not as in EDM, but as in house, techno, and all the club music, has this sort of tie to the club, to what happens with music locally. And I think this is a good representation of what happens with dance music in this style, in a particular sort of style like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. There were a couple of things that I noticed. I think that the hi-hat in this beginning section, because everything here is so dark, when the hi-hat comes in, it's very, very bright. And I felt it sort of struck me. I don't mind that it's much brighter because you have that dynamic contrast, but I think it's a little bit overpowering, so I'd bring it down in that section just in volume a little bit. The other thing that I felt was that there are some really nice fills, especially in the percussion. And I thought they were a little bit... I'd like to highlight them more, I think. If I was mixing this, I'd bring them up in level, because there was some really cool stuff in the percussion. I think during maybe this section. There's like some wood blocks and stuff, I think, going on there. Very soft, and it helps the track move and jump a bit.
I love that bit.
It's cool.
I mean, the only thing that I would say in terms of tonal balance is that it sounds just a little bit recessed in the mid range. So I hear a lot of...
I agree that.
I'll hear boom boom boom, but I cannot hear like mids, for example. I mean, if there was no way to go back to the mix and we had to master this, then we would have to go into MS and for example go like this. Let's see what goes on in the mid-range. So these are the elements that are on the side, so I can hear that. But then I'm missing the mids on the mid channel. Of course, there is not much information there to begin with, because it's just the vocal and then everything else is bass and percussion. But still, this kind of mid-range... See, I mean, if you see the actual... See how it goes? It goes like this. It kind of... It's very scooped. So I would try and maybe add a bit of, maybe some saturation, some harmonic distortion to the elements, so that it fills this gap. It feels very smiley. How can I say that? But The only problem with that, and it's not really a problem, but it will sound a little bit quieter no matter how loud you master it.
Yeah.
It will sound quieter because it's not mid range, which is like the most sensitive. Our ear is the most sensitive at. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that if you want to gain a little bit more present and make it a little bit more competitive, also on the dance floor, a little
Mm.
bit more mids would help. And
Yeah.
and also I also understand the general vibe of this, where it's got to be like a round, embracing sound. So I think it should
Yeah, I
should be
mean,
like a
since
balance.
there's this really nice vocal in there, I would just make it a little bit fuller because there's so much space. I mean, you can really get away with adding like a little bit more low mids. You don't have to filter it too much. I feel that it's a little bit too safe right now. You can make it a little bit fuller, maybe even darker. I might say. It sounded quite quite bright. Not like in a problematic way, but in terms of artistic direction, I would say a little bit darker, a little bit fuller. I don't know what you think, Claudio, Aaron.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
Just so that you feel this kind of mid range, and it feels that this new element, it's not like a top end kind of,
Yeah.
but it's more like a, okay, wow, this is like a badass singer right now that started singing,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
we want to pay tribute to that. So anyway, that's just my impression, but I agree with you. It's I think it's, like I said, the first thing, it sounds pretty
That's really
balanced.
good. Yeah. Should we go on to the next